All right, so we're recording now.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, you're
Glad you are.
Did we have any checks there? Did you check the mail
I haven't checked it yet.
up front? We shouldn't
I just
have
go
any,
straight
but
to the
I know
office.
that they could come in by accident there.
Gotcha. There's I think there's some checks that haven't been done. So
Yeah.
I'm told.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pick those up today.
Okay. Cool.
And Suzanne's been mailing stuff, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what the plan is. Debbie's coordinating all that. So they've been mailing it. They've been mailing our brokerage checks to Mom's house, and Mom's been mailing them out to everybody.
That's awesome.
Virtual, baby. We're all virtual.
We're not even real.
So who are we missing here? Anybody else going to join in?
What's funny is how Ben sent a message out this morning about it being time management. Don't be late, and here we are. 6 out of 10 people.
You know what, Ben? I was preparing to speak because I thought it was mine, but it was I'm actually next Friday. Until you sent that message out, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
Good, because I stayed up till like 12:30 making these slides. So
Yeah. Oh no, I wouldn't have taken it from you either way. But no, I'm glad you're doing it.
Ben, where are you? You have cinder blocks behind you.
I know. I'm at the church. I gotta edit a video and just kind of sit here. Nobody else.
We can hear you. So that's good.
Yeah, audio's great.
I think there's 4 people in the building right now. So
For the first time, we can hear Ben. That's true.
Yeah.
I know. You did it one time where we could hear you really well, and then after that, it didn't happen again.
I'm using the same webcam I used to use for Wednesday Warriors. That's what I use at home. I don't know why it's not.
You're a lot closer.
Maybe it's because you sit really far away at your home computer. I don't know.
Terrible lighting. I need a webcam because my lighting is all messed up.
You don't have an actual webcam?
No, it's at home. I didn't bring it.
So Ben, you can take this video, obviously, because Duke's recording, and you can use the content for your YouTube, for your Facebook pages, all that stuff. So I would say once we start, we just give it over to you unless you want it to be interactive, and then that way you can just cut out the beginning and the end, and then make it how you want to make it. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I plan on doing that with this one and communication.
Yeah. Cool.
So I thought about that. Either I could edit the audio out if people talk, or we could use the chat, because there is a few questions I'm going to ask, but we could chat like we did in the trainings.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do the chat. If you have questions, let's just type in on the chat. That way we don't have to mess up your stream.
Yeah, chat makes sense. That's how they do it for the Boomtown stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But the only problem with chat is I can't see everybody.
And you're kind of dark, it's probably because the window behind you. I bet if you close those blinds.
If I sit up close, I get.
That's better, yeah. But I bet if you close those blinds, it'll brighten up.
Yeah.
A little bit better. Duke has really nice lighting.
Me?
Yeah, that looks better.
His new listing is that huge house. I just saw it on Facebook.
Which one?
6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 9-foot ceilings, gray front. It's really big.
It's one of ours?
Yeah.
What about it?
Oh, wait, just kidding. October 16th, 2019. Just never mind.
Oh, that was probably Aberdeen.
Yeah, never mind me.
No, Aberdeen had more than 6 bedrooms.
Come on, Betsy, get with the program.
Betsy's like, I want to buy it. I want to sell it.
All right.
Ready?
I think I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to mute my mic.
I'm going to start presenting. If I can get back to that screen. All right. Tell me when you can see all that.
Can you see us at all, or are you only seeing your screen?
I'm only seeing my screen in the
So
chat.
it's up.
Time management.
Oh, so you
We can see it, but it's not filling in the whole screen, Ben.
So yeah, so he can't project it or he loses his notes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we were playing with this. That's why I keep telling him he needs to switch to Google Slides. We pay for the service, man. You need to start using it.
I know.
All right. Well, just show me how to use it.
We'll play with it sometime. Let me know when you want to do it.
You can screen crop it. You can probably crop.
I can't figure out how to do it in here. How do you do it?
Well, if you record this for yourself, you can record in QuickTime and just crop. You can drag what you actually want to record, the box that you want to record.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can bring it into Adobe and do whatever I need.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. Today we are talking about time management. Time management. So here is our little objective for today. We want to learn to manage our time. Would you all agree that that's important? Say yes in the chat if you think learning to manage your time is important. Yeah, that's right. All right. So I'm going to start with a quote from my favorite mentor, Jim Rohn, who says, either you run the day or the day runs you. Either you run the day or the day runs you. We all have the same amount of time, right? Everybody on planet Earth has exactly the same amount of time in a day. Nobody has more, nobody has less. We all have the same. So I want you to answer a question in the chat if you think you know what 1440 represents. Anybody got a guess? What does 1440 mean or represent?
Is it the number of minutes in a day?
Very good. The number of minutes.
More seconds than that.
The number of minutes in a day. That's right. So here's the question. Are you managing the time or is the time managing you? How much time do we spend on productive tasks and how much time do we spend on non-productive tasks? Because we're spending time on both, right? There's things that we do every day that are productive, that feed our purpose, that lead us to our goals and to our target and to things we're trying to accomplish and that get us the results we need. And then there's those things that are, well, maybe not so productive, right? That we're also spending time on. So when we talk about time management, you really got to take a look, an honest look at yourself, look at your day, and figure out how much time you're spending on productive versus non-productive. I challenge you to take just one day and write down the time you spend on everything of that day, from the time it takes to brush your teeth, to take a shower, to get dressed, to put on makeup if you're a female, to drive to work. Then how much time do you spend working? How much time do you spend on breaks? How much time do you spend on lunch? How much time do you spend on social media? How much time do you spend driving home? How much time do you spend making dinner or trying to figure out what you're going to make for dinner? How much time do you spend eating dinner? How much time do you spend after dinner with family? How much time do you spend after family time doing something productive to get ready for the next day? Break down one day and then add up productivity versus non-productivity task and see what we come up with. I think it would be very interesting for us all to do that. So time is your most valuable and scarcest resource. What do you think that means? Somebody in the chat, what do you think your most valuable and scarcest resource means?
We don't know how much of it we have. It's running out constantly. It is finite. You can't make more of it.
Yep. You only get so much. You only get 1440 every day. 1,440 minutes every day. So where are we wasting those precious minutes? Because I don't think that we're all using 1,414 minutes to the fullest. I know I'm not. So where would you guess, if you had to make an educated guess, where would you guess that we're wasting minutes in our day? Anybody leave a message?
On our phone.
What items, what things do you think we do that are wasting minutes? Social media.
Social media on our phone.
So here's daily time broken down as of last year. I think it's increased quite a bit this year. But just look at the difference between 2012 to 2019. In 2019, last year, we were spending 153 minutes a day. And it's more, I think it's closer to 200 now. Minutes out of the 1,440, we're probably close to 200 minutes on social networking. Now, we as realtors, we can justify and say, well, we're doing business on social media. And maybe that is true. But are you spending the whole time you're on social media doing business, promoting yourself, your brand, looking at listings, looking for sale by owners, looking for deals, looking to network? Or are you wasting some minutes on social media? Here's time spent on social in a lifetime. These are just rough little, estimates here. But, 1 year, 7 months on Facebook. 1 year, 10 months on YouTube. And here's the thing about the scarcest, about time and being, when I said it's the scarcest resource, we can't get time back. Time is the only thing, time is the main thing that we want, but the one thing that we can't get back. You can waste a lot of things and get them back. You can go out and blow a paycheck. You can go out and spend a bunch of money. You can fall ill, and you can still get yourself back together. You can still get healthy again. You can make more money, but you can't get time back. When you waste time, it's gone. There is no getting it back. Another quote. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Every minute is valuable. Would you agree? Every minute. In business, it only takes 1 minute to have a breakthrough idea. I want you to think about that for a minute. If there's 1,440 minutes in a day, you only need 1 minute to change your life. You only need 1 minute to have a breakthrough. You only have 1 minute to figure out something. You only have 1 minute to sell $1 million house. It only takes 1 minute to do those things. 1 minute. Every minute of the day is precious if we think about it. If we think about how valuable each minute is, maybe we would be more productive in every minute that we had. So today I want to give you 7 time management tips. There's a lot of them, but I tried to find just the best 7 for us. 7 time management tips. Here we go. Number 1, identify your most important task and do it first. Identify your most important tasks and do it first. This is what we would call MIT, most important task. Most important task. Tasks that produce the most results. Tasks that are hard or uncomfortable. Tasks that get you closer to your goal. We need to identify what these most important tasks are for our life, for our business, for our career, and do those first. Because if you can get out of the way, the hard things or the uncomfortable things or those things that you know are going to produce the most for your business, if you can do those first, get them out of the way first, then you have a much better chance of actually getting them done in the day. Because if you put off some important tasks to the end of the day, they may never get done. We must focus, identify, and do the important task right away in the mornings. I lost the chat thing. I don't know where it went. Weird. All right. So this is what behavioral psychologist Dan Ariely says. He says, we are at our best for about a 2-hour window of time in the morning. We are at our best for only about 2 hours of the day and in the morning. So you got to understand that if you only got a good 2-hour block, like you're the best, you're the most efficient, you're the most alert, you're the most focused, you have the most clarity for about 2 hours of day in the morning, when do you think you should do those most important tasks that you have to do? In the morning, yep, that's right. That's when you want to do everything, which is why I always preach and others preach, do your prospecting in the morning, because a lot of people don't like prospecting. But would you agree, yes or no, is prospecting the best thing, the most productive thing you can do for your business? Yes or no? So when would you want to do prospecting? Unless there's a 10 a.m. training on time management, you should be prospecting right now. Unless you get up at 7 and you've already done your 2-hour block from 8 to 10. But you should be prospecting for a good, at least 2-hour block, unless you're Sarah who's doing 8-hour blocks. But you should be prospecting for at least 2 hours in the morning. Now, I know some people like to do it in the afternoons or at night, 4 to 6, catch more people. That's great. If you can get your second win to get another 2-hour little window in the late afternoon, then that's great. But the best time, the most alert time, when you're the most focused, when you have the most clarity and you're alert, is in the morning. So that was number 1. That was a long one. We have 6 more to go. So number 2, follow Pareto principle. Some of you may know this as the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule, we've talked about this before, but 20% of effort, usually, in most cases, of anything you do, any activity, 20% of the effort that you put into something will produce 80% of the results. So here's what we do. We got to ask ourselves, what are the handful of tasks that are getting us the most results? What's those few things that we do regularly, consistently, that get us the most results, that produce the most revenue, that get us the most closings, that get us the most appointments? What are the handful of things? And then focus on those things and do those things in the first couple hours of the day. Is this making sense? Good. All right, number 3, rolling right along here. Work from your calendar. Work from your calendar, not a to-do list. Raise your hand because I can see most of you. Who uses a to-do list? Anybody use a to-do list? Ashley does. I like to-do lists. I like to get up in the morning and sometimes write a to-do list if it's for a specific part of the day. But here's the problem with to-do list. 41% of items put on a to-do list are never done. 41%. So if you're putting all your financial earnings into a to-do list, if you're putting everything into a to-do list, you're only going to get 59% out of what you put on that to-do list. Meaning if your business is banking on your to-do list, you're cutting yourself 41% short. Does that make sense? So work from your calendar. If you have a little to-do list for a time block, that's okay. But use your calendar. If it's not in your calendar, what? It doesn't exist. Everything should be in your calendar. Everything you're going to do today should be in a calendar. You should not even have to think about what you're going to do today, because you should be able to open up your calendar on your phone, Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, whatever it is, and you should be able to see exactly what you have to do today. Not just an appointment, not just a haircut, if we could go out, not just a dinner date, if we could go out, everything. Calling, marketing, brokerment, training, dinner, like everything should be in your calendar. Because in my experience, if I don't put something in my calendar, I'm probably going to forget. I'm probably going to forget a few things. And then my wife's going to say, don't you remember? I told you last week we had this, this, and this. Didn't you put it in your calendar? Obviously not. Because I didn't remember, because it wasn't in my calendar. Number 4, control your inbox. This is a big one. How many of you, be honest, look at your calendar, look at your emails every few minutes? How many of you have notifications pop up on your phone alerting you that you have a new email? Or that you have a Facebook message or a Facebook comment? And it feels so good because it releases dopamine, right? And it's instant gratification. And we get excited. We're like, oh, I have a message. Oh, it's not really important. Oh, somebody liked my video. Oh, I don't even know that person. Oh, somebody left a comment. Oh, it was a bad comment, right? We're setting ourselves up, not only for negativity and disappointment, but we're setting ourselves up to waste more precious minutes. And one of those minutes you wasted could have been the minute that you got your breakthrough. One of those minutes could have been one of the minutes that gave you the result, that gave you the listing, that gave you the appointment. One of those wasted minutes. Minutes are precious. They're valuable. We must control our inbox. So shut off notifications on your phone today. Shut them off. I don't want to see any Facebook message, any Facebook notifications pop up on my phone ever. I don't want to see an Instagram notification pop up on my phone ever. I don't want to see an email notification pop up on my phone ever. The only thing I want to see is a text message. And if I could control that and still have my wife's come through, if somebody knows how to do that, let me know, then I would do it. Because that's really the only notification I need to see, is if my wife texts me about the children or about something important. I don't need to see any other notifications until I'm ready to see the notifications. Does that make sense? We have to manage our time. If not, the time manages us, and then we're dictated by the notification. And now we find ourselves doing non-productive tasks. So what do? We schedule a time to check those things. We schedule a time to check emails. We schedule a time to go on Facebook. We schedule a time to do those things. For some people, depending on your business, you might could do this 3 times a day. And some of you are laughing because you know you couldn't make it on just 3 times a day. But if you're not a realtor, if you're in just another business where you're not getting constant notifications and emails from clients and agents and title companies and lenders and inspectors, you might could do a morning, lunch, and afternoon or late afternoon check. But maybe if you're more busy and you rely a lot on notifications and emails, maybe you do it once an hour. Maybe every hour you spend 5 minutes going through your last hour of emails. And then after that, you're done. You don't look at it for at least another hour. All right, number 5, say no to everything that doesn't support your immediate goals. Say no. This is so hard for me because I'm a yes type guy. I'm a pleaser. I'm a helper. I like to say yes, and I cannot even begin, because we don't have time, tell you how many stories where I've said yes to things that I deeply regretted later on, right? Can you do this for me? Can you come over here this time? Can you do this? Can you attend this thing? Can you work this event? Can you do this? And you're like, yeah, I want to help. I don't want to be rude and say no, so I'll say yes. But then you realize I should not have said yes to that because it's not very productive and it doesn't really support my immediate goals. Yep, that's right. That was a good book. And think about this. Every time we say yes, we are saying no to something else. So you say yes today to do something in a week, then in a week, you're actually saying no to something that you probably should be doing that maybe is going to get you closer to your goals, that maybe supports your goals better. If it doesn't support your goals, you got to say no. If somebody wants to chat for a few minutes and you know it's not going to support your immediate goals, you got to say no. If somebody wants you to come do something that's not going to support your immediate goals and it's not beneficial, it's not productive, you got to learn to say no. If somebody needs something right now today, and it means you got to stop prospecting to go help somebody, you have to say no. Not in a rude way, not in a mean way, but just, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that today. No, give me a few weeks, maybe I can then help. No, let me try to schedule that next week sometime. I'm tied up today. I already have meetings today. We have to say no. Number 6, schedule blocks of time for all tasks. Time blocking. We must schedule blocks of time, not just a calendar. And this goes a step further than a calendar. Start with a calendar to put in appointments and different things you want to do, meetings, trainings, prospecting. But then let's get real specific. I use the Excel spreadsheet, and let's make some color blocks, filling an hour, 2 hours of time with things that you need to do. So here's an example. The whole day. Now, this hasn't been up. This was like a couple months ago when we were still using Follow Up Boss. As you can see, hot, warm, cold. It's got a little bit of the church time in there. It's got some free time. Got my marketing time. Got my brokerment time, because you know that takes time. You got podcast, book. You got lunch, church, breakfast, devotion. Like, this is just an example. But if I look at this every day, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I know the time I'm doing it. And it's a kind of a reward system, because I know once I get to this certain time, I get to take a break and check emails. I know I get to this certain time, I get to take lunch, right? This keeps me on track, and it also gives me objectives to do. Time block your entire day, then it's hard to waste time. Because if I'm following this thing, there's not a whole lot of time wasting in there. There's nowhere in here where it says, go stand at the water cooler and shoot the breeze. Nowhere in here does it say, go on Facebook. That stuff's all scheduled, right? It is important to take breaks and go to the water cooler and shoot the breeze occasionally, but you got to do it in between blocks of time. Me and Sarah, when we used to work together back there, we would do like 2-hour prospecting calling times, and then we would take like a 15-minute break, go outside, go check emails, talk to each other, get up, walk around, and then we'd go back. And then I would take it a step further, because we're not prospecting and calling all day. I would use the breaks to separate different types of task. Like, do 2 hours of prospecting, take a break, then come back and do some admin stuff. Then take a break, then do some more prospecting or marketing. Or, I would switch up your blocks throughout the day to keep your day more interesting, but use a break in between to kind of shift, where your mind can then shift to something else. And last but not least, number 7, use early morning to strengthen your mind, your body, and your spirit. When a lot of experts, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of successful people were asked what the number 1 productivity tip was, this was it. Not time blocking, not put it in your calendar. All those things are important, but this was the number 1 thing for productivity. Use an early morning routine. Get an early morning routine and consistently make it a routine. Do it every day. Make the first hour of the day count. Mind, body, spirit. If you're exercising those 3 things, first thing every morning, you'll have a much more productive day. You'll have the energy, you'll have the mental capacity, you'll have the focus, you'll have the alertness, you have the clarity. It makes a huge difference in your day. So here's a recap. 7 time management tips. If you want to take a picture, if you want to quickly jot them down, if you haven't been, here is the 7 time management tips. Now, who's up for a quick exercise? We got about another 15, 20 minutes. Anybody up for a quick exercise? Ashley says yes. Laura says yes. Here we go. Let's make a schedule right now. Using some or all of the tips, and here they are. Using some of those tips, I want everybody to make a schedule, a 1-day schedule. Just an outline, just a brief one. Take about 2 minutes. Make yourself a quick little schedule, trying to implement some of these things. And then when you're done, we'll talk a little bit about it. If anybody wants to share theirs, so we can kind of hear some examples and get some insight. And then we'll do some question and answer and some Q&A, and then we'll be done. All right, we got about 1 minute left before we're going to move on. All right, we got about 30 seconds. Hopefully got at least something brief down that we can talk about. All right, who would like to unmute themselves and share with us a little schedule that they made using some of these tips? Do we have a volunteer in the class?
I'll volunteer.
All right, Ashley, go ahead.
Sorry, I took my screen off because I'm eating breakfast, but so I just planned from like now until dinner, and I still didn't even get most of the things done by writing them out. I realized I like way overbooked myself, right? So this will help because I overbook myself every day, and then I end up going into the next day with stuff I didn't finish. So I'm hoping if I use your list, it'll help. But I did training with you until 11. And then I tried to break it up into like 30-minute to an hour time frames. So like after this, I need to like shower and get ready because I have stuff I got to do. I have to go out in public. I have to write an offer. So I gave myself 30 minutes to prepare that. So that way I have time to go over it with my clients and talk to the listing agent again. Then I gave myself an hour because I have to go meet Daniel, either at Gather or wherever. Then I have to go and finish my house up for listing it tomorrow. I gave myself 2 hours for that. And then I have a showing at 3. And then I don't know how long that's going to go. So I gave myself a full hour for that. And then I have to drive 30 minutes back here. And then I'll start prepping dinner. And that's as far as I got, as far as like thinking about what I need to do. And there's so many other things I need to get done. So this was helpful. But I realized that I need to time block because if I don't, I always overbook myself.
Yep. So let me ask you this. Looking at that schedule, does that relieve you or does it give you more anxiety to see everything in your day?
This helps me because normally I make to-do lists that are unbelievably long. Like I have like 20 of them and you're saying that's bad. So if I do this, I'm essentially giving myself like an hour to do all these random things and I need to get them done in that time frame. So if I don't, then I have to like, I don't know, I'm gonna try to figure out how to strategize. Like say prospecting is one of them. Well, I want to get through like 20 people at least in an hour. You know, I'm hoping that people answer the phone and I didn't even have time to schedule prospecting for today unless I do it after dinner. So, but it did not give me more anxiety. It's going to help me get more organized, I think.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley.
if
Yeah.
Anybody else?
can I chime in for a moment?
Yeah.
If anybody wants help getting a time block built on your Google Calendar, I'm happy to either do a webinar or a one-on-one web meeting. You know, it's pretty straightforward, but if you guys want help with it, I'm more than happy to help.
Duke did one with me or with Nance, Debbie, and I one time at Gather, and it was like we spent an hour just talking about how to color code and all of that, and it made your calendar look super pretty. So Duke's awesome at that if you really want help.
Yeah. Who else? Anybody else want to share?
I can share.
Go ahead.
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Can you just like share my schedule that I wrote out?
Yeah. Just so we can, I just want people to get ideas of
Okay,
how they
okay.
can. Yeah.
All right. Up at 6:45, 7 to 7:30, exercise, 7:30 to 8, devotional, quiet time, 8 to 8:30, shower, get dressed, get ready, deodorant, brush my teeth, all the boring stuff. And then 8:30 to 9, breakfast. 9 to 10. I'm sorry, 9 to 11. I put for prospecting, growing the business. You know, finding new agents. 11 to 12. Systems, organization, processes, and systems for the company. 12 to 1, lunch. 1 to 4, team building, meetings, calling, checking in on agents and staff. 4 to 5, email, reflecting and preparing for the next day. But realistically, my emails go into much longer than that. But that's a dream schedule, I guess.
All right, that's good. It's good to work towards it and try to do it every day. Keep you at least you'll get a lot more done.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, if nobody else wants to share, we'll kind of wrap this up. Remember this: either you run the day, or the day runs you.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody got any other comments or suggestions or insight?
I personally like using like a paper planner still. The only thing that I like to actually write on, I don't really use any other paper, but I find enjoyment out of crossing things off as I do them. And I like to get the ones where you can time block. So it'll say like, the 8 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock hour, and so forth. So I'll kind of write stuff in my calendar, appointments or, prospecting time. And then once I've done it, I like highlight it off. And it helps me kind of keep track of the things I need to do. And then it makes me feel good once I can say, okay, that's done.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like writing things down too. That's why I'm hard about the to-do list, because I like to write everything down in the morning I'm going to do, but then I realize that list carries over days and days and days.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to write a few things down inside your time block. So if you have a 2-hour time block to do some admin stuff, make a quick little list before you get started. Then you get to cross your stuff out, but then you move on to the next block after your little break. So
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks, Elena. Any other questions or comments?
That was good. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, hopefully y'all can have a productive day today and every day.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. Welcome.
I think you're gonna be famous one day because you're so good at speaking. I'm picturing you on a big stage and us all sitting in the audience, first row.
You're going to be
obviously.
a 10X speaker.
Yep.
Thank you, Betsy. That really means a lot. Thank you.
We're
No.
serious though.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ben.
Yeah, you're very motivational.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, friends.
All right. Bye. Great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Sweet.